Okay. The old neighborhood. Sarah wanted to talk to me about our first mission. She also told me to talk to the other people. Hold on, I'm still a bit sick. I got a cough. Okay, I crouched. I crouched when I was coughing. So let's meet some people.
I've occasionally had my doubts about Constellation as an investment.
I
But
trust
now,
you're still satisfied
well,
with your choice to join
it's
Constellation.
clearly money well spent.
Absolutely, Sarah. I've never regretted the decision.
You've been an invaluable asset to the group, Noel. Just wanted to make sure you didn't regret it.
Okay, maybe not every single day does a dream come true, but the
Take
work
note.
we're involved in,
Everyone here
discoveries
is
we're
worth
making,
learning from.
it's
Yes, even the kid.
Okay, everybody just stop talking so I can talk. So Walter Stroud.
Well, I suppose calling you a rock breaker may have been a bit out of line.
I've been called worse. That was an apology. You can do better. You don't even know me. No, I've been called worse.
Still doesn't excuse it. My frustrations lie more with Barrett, not the first time his shenanigans have jeopardized one of our ventures. Not fair of me to take it out on you, especially since it would seem he made the right call this time. So, let's start over, shall we? Walter Stroud, CEO of Stroud Eklund, member of Constellation, and oft-times grumpy old man.
Same.
Welcome aboard.
Hope the drinks are at least free.
Yes, well, a stocked bar is a treat I think Constellation can afford. For now. But if you clean us out, you're on your own. By the way, in addition to a place to stay, the Lodge has a wealth of modification and research equipment. Spacesuit customization, pharmaceutical manufacturing, testing alien substances, the whole thing. You can even
Drugs?
fashion industrial pieces for large-scale projects, if you don't mind extracting a few raw resources from a nearby planet, that is. I'm a fan of self-reliance, so I encourage you to make use of the tools we have to build what you need.
So we ain't gonna give you stuff. You do it yourself. That gives us a miscellaneous quest, craft, or modify an item. Always a staple. Create a research project. Okay. What's your role in Constellation?
Me? Why, I'm the wallet. Someone has to fund all this, and all my success in business doesn't mean much if I can't put it to good use. I don't pretend to have the daring of Ms. Morgan, or the smarts of young Mateo, but I can make sure that they have the resources they need. And, as you've now seen, those resources aren't being wasted. We're onto something big here.
Okay. Do you think the visions I had means anything?
Up until very recently, I'd likely have dismissed it as, I don't know, hallucinations. But now, I'm not sure what to think. I don't suppose you have a history of this sort of thing, do you?
Hmm. You mean, have I seen anything like this before?
This? Or anything else? You'll have to forgive me. I don't know you as well as the others here. If you weren't so new to the group, I might already know the answer.
I've never seen anything like that in my life.
Yes, I imagined as much. Barrett expressed something similar, in his own unique way. I'm no scientist. I leave that to the likes of Barrett and young Noel there. But I think we can all agree there's something unusual going on here. Frankly, this is the most exciting thing that's happened in years.
Okay. What kind of company is Stroud Eklund?
We're most well known for ship manufacture. no expense spared. If you want the best and can afford it, you choose Stroud Eklund. Unfortunately, our success means you'll sometimes see Stroud Eklund ship modules on less than reputable vessels. They covet them. The bastards. I've tried to convince the United Colonies we can help in that regard, but they're married to Deimos Star Yards, and those old salts are stuck in the glory days.
Okay, well, this isn't where I'd expect to find a CEO.
Funny thing about companies, you build one sturdy enough, it doesn't need you there all the time to prop it up. Stroud Eklund functions quite well on a day-to-day basis, leaving me time to devote to more esoteric pursuits. For years, I was captivated by the writings of Constellation's founder, Sebastian Banks. I finally decided to do something more than admire from a distance, and so now I call the lodge home as much as anywhere else.
Oh, and that's it.
Goodbye.
So maybe we'll do your side quests then. Why not? Modify an item.
Walter, you don't have to answer this, but I was wondering something. You're around the lodge a lot, like almost all the time. Doesn't that bother your wife?
It's true. I am away from home quite a bit. Apparently, I've become rather cranky when I'm not able to participate in Constellation's little adventures. My darling Issa has concluded that it is in both of our best interests if I can spend my time working from the lodge as often as possible.
Okay then. I guess if you're both okay with it. It's been quieter around here ever since Vladimir went to live on the Eye full time.
Yeah, thanks for telling me that. I don't know who Vladimir is or what the Eye is. Alright.
Curious feeling, knowing that you've seen something that no one else has.
Y'all
That
just
you know something no one else does.
y'all just be talking.
I am at your service, Captain.
Thanks, but I'm supposed to be modifying something. Pharmaceutical lab. Spacesuit workbench. Okay. I guess my Constellation pack. Extra capacity, so plus 10. Hazard protection. Or an oxygen reserve. I don't think I have. Like, they're lit up. Oh, no, but I don't have them. Just because they're lit up doesn't mean anything. Okay. Will that count as applying a modification? It did. Okay. And then complete a research project was the other one that was given to me. Oh, hey. They've got a Grendel here. All these ammo canisters. Yes, I will rob you all. It's not robbing, it's okay. We're, collaborators. Oh, right here, research lab. I did choose professor, right? Which means I can barrel mods, grip and stock, optic, and laser. The thing is, I don't have any materials to do any of this. Okay, what else we got here? A restroom. Some fancy chairs. This reminds me of the hideout from, Payday. Oh. Okay. Well, we can't finish that one. Let's finish talking to the people, though. Yeah, it feels very, unique spacesuit. But it's a master lock. I know, I'm still over encumbered. Forever Human, February 2nd. 2 dates for Darla. 4. Really? This girl's gotten 2 dates 4 times? I guess good on you, Darla. Oh, look, that little... little plushie. And there's another one. I will be stealing those later. Because I want them. Muzzle and me. Whose room is this? Is this going to end up being my room? That is one of my quests, is to have them show me to my room. Okay. Let's go meet Mateo. Oh, it's just you.
I am at your service, Captain.
I don't know where Mateo went. Let's go meet Noel.
I know everyone's excited by the artifacts, but we need to be as objective as possible and be aware of possible negative effects. That was intense, wasn't it? The artifacts, I mean. Sorry, this must all be a little overwhelming for you right now. I guess a lot overwhelming, now that I think about it. I'm Noel. It's really nice to meet you. And thank you for bringing the artifact to us.
So that's not yet. You seem to know a lot about these artifacts.
Oh, gosh. No, I mean, that's flattering, but really, we're making this up as we go. Until you arrived, we only had the 2, and the vaguest sense that there was something more at work. There's still so much we don't know, and that means a lot of work ahead of us.
I was wondering about other types of exploration work besides the artifacts. Now that feels like that's going to give me a side quest. The vision I saw. What do you think it was?
Oh, right, that. If we're approaching this rationally, I suppose we'd call them visual and auditory hallucinations. What you perceived as lights and music could be overloaded neural input, your brain's attempt to make sense of something, an energy surge, some other phenomenon.
But Barrett saw something too.
He did. At the time, well, it's Barrett. We weren't sure if he was kidding around. Clearly, he wasn't.
Alright. Well, this wasn't random snaps he's firing. It means something.
Sure, I'm not trying to suggest otherwise. I wasn't there when it happened. I'm just thinking it through. It's okay. Now that this has happened to both you and Barrett, we can know to maybe expect it in the future. Be a little more prepared. We're all in this together now, right?
Sure. How long have you been working on all this?
Well, Constellation's been around forever, more than 50 years now. But we only became aware of the artifacts recently. Barrett discovered the first one about 2 years ago, right under our noses. And he was the one who got this all in motion. It's a shame he isn't here to see this.
Okay, let me know how I can help you learn more.
Well, right now, nothing's off the table. Metallurgical analysis, chemical composition. I'm looking at everything. One thing I'm really trying to improve is my overall database of xenobiology. I don't know if it will help in this case, but the more we know about, well, everything, the better off we are, right? Speaking of, if you're going to be out there looking for more artifacts, you're bound to come across some interesting specimens. Anything organic, I'd be happy to take it off your hands.
Organic stuff, got it. I have more important things to worry about. How would organic resources help with learning about the artifacts?
I can't be certain that they will, but more data points are always a good thing. I don't want to rule out anything that could provide a breakthrough. And if it sweetens the deal, I can pay. Pretty well, too. Walter's pockets may not be bottomless, but they are pretty deep.
So you're going to be paying with someone else's money. Got it. I got some organic resources for you.
Anything I can learn from is a help.
Here's a fiber. Here's a fiber tissue. Here's a metabolic agent. Just the one. Here's a nutrient. And here's a toxin. I gave her those, right? Okay. I was wondering about other types of exploration work besides the artifacts.
Of course, there's plenty of planets out there that no one has ever set foot on, and everything we learn about them is valuable. We have a board where we post anything specific we're looking for. A type of alien flora or fauna, or a planet with a specific quality, like if it's primed to have life but doesn't yet.
Okay. Check out the Constellation mission board. Sure, I'll just give you the rest of these.
Okay, let's take a look.
I don't want any of it anyways, right? What is it? I don't know what I'm going to need. So I'll keep the fiber. I don't need the fiber tissue. Any of those or that. So she's just a merchant. Alright, Sarah said something about a place for me to stay.
Planning on sticking around then? Good. I think we can find a spot for you. And along the way, I can give you the very abbreviated tour. Right. So you've seen the library, obviously. Walter's quite proud of the collection, but Mateo has made more than a few contributions. Gardens are out the doors there, if you need a moment of quiet contemplation. Emphasis on the quiet part, at least usually. Let's head upstairs. Sebastian Banks, Constellation's founder, had this place built decades ago. It was a big to-do at the time, but most people in the city have forgotten we're here.
I hope you are satisfied with the quarters available to you.
I'm guessing these are all your guys' rooms off to the sides. Yep.
So this is the bar. Usually no tender, so help yourself, within reason, of course. Now let's see about that room. You're in luck. We were almost at max occupancy already, but there's still one room up for grabs.
And it's
been
near
nice
the
having
bar.
the place so full.
Heck yeah. What the fuck? It's a closet. No, it's this one.
Okay, this'll be you. Common room on one side, so that'll be quiet, and Mateo on the other side, so maybe a little less quiet. I'm sure Sarah has something planned for each of us, so I'd better get back to it. Don't want to keep her waiting too long. Enjoy!
Okay, I completed the quest of finding where my room is.
When's the last time you went up to see Vladimir?
Huh. It's been. Why?
Oh, I just don't know how he does it. Up there all alone for so long.
Some people love that kind of space. Pun intended.
Always intend your puns. Own them. Hey, Moby Dick. Oh, do they have an actual bookshelf like you can have in like Skyrim? Probably not. But I did like that. Storage. Really, I just need to sell all this. I don't need to put it in storage. I'd store this stuff, though. Since the dresser doesn't seem to be a real dresser. A Chronomark watch case? Oh, whoops, I just picked that up. Wait, was this Barrett's room? They just give me Barrett's room? So there's not a lot here. Whose room we're checking out? Inaccessible. This cannot be opened. That one also cannot be opened. There's no indicator of whose room this is. Probably Walter's, because there's a spaceship outside of it. This is just a leisure, non-used room because there's stuff. Leads off to a gym. Let's drink back of wine. Toy spaceship. Oh. Feeding the front lines. Return of the Interceptor. It's a computer that's covered in dirt. Economic meltdown. Batball. Someone crazy into athletics. This is probably Vladimir. I'm feeling a Vladimir here. Which would also explain why it's covered in like dirt and stuff. Oh. Fishbowl. Didn't want it stolen, you wouldn't have left it out. This one's also covered in dirt and stuff, though. Well, Mateo. Sir Livingstone's second journal. I heard tell from some of the old-timers that although the Earth suffered its sad fate, that her faithful companion Luna, which is our moon, fared much better. Apparently, you can still find the remnants of one of the old Apollo missions. Something of a secret rite of passage for chairs of Constellation, if Banks was to be believed. During one of those rare interludes of calm, while doing other research on Earth, I figured I could spare the time. I was, as they say, in the neighborhood. It took some serious scanning and a couple of false leads, but I found it. To walk in the same place as those earliest of interstellar explorers. Unbelievable that what they achieved with such primitive technology. I found the whole experience moving, inspiring. I would advise my successor to do the same. We'll make a proper tradition of it yet. This is an excerpt from Sir Malcolm Livingstone's second journal. I wasn't going to take it, but I guess I took it. And that gives us the activity: visit the Apollo landmark on Luna. Hey, sorry I stole your book.
I feel like I've been waiting my whole life for this. Constellation, the artifacts. That doesn't sound crazy, does it?
No, it sounds fine.
Are you doing okay? I'm not sure anyone really asked yet. Don't want you to think we're focused on the artifacts and nothing else. You matter too. You've done something really significant bringing that artifact here. I'm Mateo, theological scholar by trade, but now, well, an explorer like you. It's really good to have you with us.
What do you make of the vision I saw?
I'm not gonna lie, I really wish I could have seen this for myself. It's hard to judge otherwise. Both you and Barrett saw something. I don't think that's a coincidence. Did it feel like it was trying to tell you something? I don't want to necessarily use the words divine revelation, but, you know, if the label fits.
Nah, I'm not going to go with religious. This is alien. I know it's important. I can feel it.
It has to be, right? All of this is connected. We just need to figure out how and why. We're gonna get to the bottom of this. We just need more data, which means more artifacts.
What brought you to Constellation?
Well, there was some overlap in interests. I'd spent years searching for religious relics from human history. I had made a really incredible discovery, only to lose it to a greedy corporation. So I tried to steal it back. In the process, I met Walter. Turned out he owned the corporation. After a long talk, we realized we had a lot in common, and I was invited to join Constellation.
Hey, he could have threw you in jail, but he didn't. These artifacts all came out of caves.
Second one was on Kazal, buried the same as the one you found. But the first one, right under our noses for years, sitting in storage, masquerading as an oversized paperweight. Can you imagine potentially the greatest discovery in human history collecting dust?
Oh, and that's it.
Take care of yourself.
It's going to be a situation like that episode of The Simpsons with the angel, where it's all fake. It's just a corporation trying to sell something. Report, the Clark Lewis. I breached the hull at approximately 1348 Sol time. As expected, all internal systems were offline. Emergency power had ceased to function years earlier. So I was navigating the ship in 0G again. I expected that. Almost immediately, I started seeing the bodies. They were everywhere. The crew, the settlers, all of them, drifting throughout the ship. What surprised me were the obvious variations in the causes of death. Those not in the suits were frozen and fairly well preserved, and I imagine some of them actually asphyxiated. Others were emaciated, as if they had starved prior to death and freezing. Others had substantial wounding, gunshots, stab wounds. I even found an arm floating amongst the debris, but not the owner of said arm. It was when I got to the engine room that things finally started to make sense. Due to my approach, I hadn't noticed it from the outside, but half the compartment was actually gone, completely destroyed. The helium-3 tanks had ruptured, somehow. Sabotage? Faulty equipment? Wasn't clear, but the reactor was gone, blown into space. No helium-3 meant no jumping. No reactor meant no engines, no thrusters. That meant the Clark Lewis, like Lewis and Clark, I got it, was dead in space forever. Oh, is this a Dead Space reference? A few personal logs I discovered only confirmed what I then assumed, which is also why they're using Clark, which was the whole Dead Space thing. My life on the Clark Lewis devolved over the course of the next few years. Some people starved to death, others resorted to violence and even murder. There was even some compelling, though unsubstantiated, evidence indicating cannibalism. For the settled systems at large, the disappearance of the Clark Lewis is a topic of urban legend, like Bigfoot or the Roanoke County or colony. Part of the myth held that the ship had made it to some Eden-like planet where the settlers had established a kind of utopia. It's a hell of a thing knowing something an entire galaxy does not. Holding on to the truth, so terrible, I'm not even sure it should see the light of day. Chloe Bow's extensive 2282 report on the destruction of the Clark Lewis colony ship, which was reported lost in the year 2257, was a subject of much contention within Constellation. At a time when space exploration was already on the decline, Sebastian Banks feared that the horrifying story of the Clark Lewis and its crew would prevent people from venturing out into the dangerous unknowns of space. Yep. So it's a little play on Lewis and Clark, who are the people who explored America, but also seems like it's playing on Dead Space, where Isaac Clarke, who is, I believe the game is supposed to be, a whole Lewis and Clark-ish thing. AJ Mamasa's diary. We haven't met AJ. Aja. Seems like just yesterday I was pulled into the exciting new organization, Constellation. Well, they did say there are 10 members. We would push the boundaries of human knowledge and experience by exploring farther into space than anyone had before. Quote, for all into the Starfield. End quote. God, I was so young. We all were. But I was the youngest of us all. Now here we are, on the brink of disaster. The colony war may be over, but the settled systems seems to be just waiting for the next one. Exploration is now, at best, quote, quaint, end quote, at worst, quote, irrelevant, end quote. Fortunately, and it was no small feat, I've managed to put together a list of potential new members. They are Erwin Madani, a young biologist and physician from the Freestar Collective; Barrett, a promising young physicist from the UC, a colorful character to say the least; Alice Campbell, quote, woman of action, end quote, and pilot, claims to have flown every type of ship at least once; and Russell Luther, astronomer and former Freestar Collective military, argumentative by effective. I think that's supposed to say argumentative but effective. Visola Chen, philosopher, historian, specializes in humanity's early days of space exploration. Gentao Min, dedicated to finding the truth, or just truth, among the stars. It's a neon hitman, rumors are troubling. So are these my companions? Are these possible companions? I feel like it. With any luck, this new blood will be just what Constellation needs to keep going. Maybe, hopefully. From the personal diary of Aja Mamasa, former Constellation chair. Oh. So Aja is no longer here. Oh, there's finally one. I was like, I haven't seen a single little audio tape. Oh, this is the rich dude's room. I'm sure he won't mind. He's got deep pockets. Port on Constellation. Oh, I have to read this one. Bang. Following is an excerpt from a 2283 SSN in news report about Constellation's near collapse. And, although Constellation's relevance has been a subject of much debate amongst the New Atlantis intelligentsia, the disappearance of founder Sebastian Banks was a blow most felt the organization couldn't survive. In fact, Constellation's disbanding seemed imminent until member Chloe Bao changed her vote in the 11th hour, thus ensuring the group's continued operation, at least for the time being, as well as her unexpected appointment to the position of chair. No, she was like, I'm leaving unless you make me the chair. That's what that sounds like. Okay. And the speech. Do I have to read this? Yes. Which means Sebastian will not be alive, or else they would have had an actor read this for me. I mean, I could be wrong. The following is an excerpt of Constellation founder Sebastian Banks' stirring 2276 speech to United Colonies leadership about the importance of continued space exploration. This is why, my esteemed peers, I beseech you, do not forego the dreams of humanity only to plunge civilization into an endless nightmare. Settled systems stands once more on the brink of war. And for what? A dispute over space? The cosmos is infinite, and yet, like our earthbound ancestors, we have become selfishly obsessed over what we consider ours. At our core, are we a race of conquerors or warriors? No, my friends. If nothing else, humans are explorers. So let us continue exploring. Now is the time to venture beyond the imagined borders of the settled systems and fulfill the dreams of humanity. For if we continue down this path, funding only war and not exploration, I fear there will be no one left to remember why we fought in the first place. I want a martini glass and a sealed cocktail mixer. Nice. So we've done all that. Is there anything behind the bar? Hey, Sir Livingstone's journal. Sir Malcolm Livingstone's appointment to the role of Constellation Chair was controversial, to say the least, as he essentially bought his way into the position. Nevertheless, Banks' contributions to the organization were substantial, as evident by the excerpt from his personal journal. In time, the others will come to accept me as chair, I'm sure. Until then, I remain committed to improving this organization to the best of my abilities. And if those improvements rely even more on my already considerable monetary contributions, then so be it. I agreed we needed a robot, but disagreed with the purchase of the newer Model A lunar robotics in a shadow of what it once was. Instead, I managed to procure an original Model A, manufactured on the moon. Bought him for a song, found him rusting in some junk heap in Aquila City, and having him refurbished as I write this, and in a couple of days he'll be as good as new. I've decided to name him Vasco, and like his namesake, imagine he'll be as flawed as he is effective. My next step is renovating the lodge. Sebastian Banks has the good sense to name the building appropriately, but it's time to inject a bit of old world grandeur. If we are to be the gatekeepers of art, science, culture, and exploration, our headquarters must express that. It's time I called in some favors and searched in those hidden corners of the settled systems to procure the things that would truly make this place come alive. There are some treasures from old Earth that desperately need an appropriate home. Okay. We got a lager, a light, and a premium pilsner. But I can't actually get anything. Disappointing. I believe I've talked to everyone but Vasco and Sarah.
I am at your service, Captain. Captain, now that you are a member of Constellation, I am at your service. No additional protocols necessary. Also, given the likelihood that you will be out in unsettled space, it might be beneficial to go over exploration outpost development, in case you ever need to build a base for field research.
I could use you on my crew, Vasco. Outpost development? What do you mean?
The exploration of an unknown planet can be a major undertaking. By building an outpost, you will be able to construct scanning equipment, resource extractors, and defenses. It is even possible to set up multiple outposts capable of manufacturing, allowing you to build advanced equipment.
Yep, got it. Fallout settlement system. How do I know if a planet has the resources I need?
A planetary scan will reveal the presence of key inorganic resources, although rarer elements will be harder to find without training. And while a scan may detect the presence of life on a planet, you will have to analyze the native plants and animals yourself to know what compounds they produce.
Got it. What kind of advanced structures could I build?
The scan booster is the most obvious, as it will enable you to detect landmarks and other points of interest from further away. Beyond that, extractors will allow you to collect raw materials of various types, while fabricators enable the manufacturing. A particularly prosperous outpost may even warrant the construction of cargo links, allowing you to share resources between other outposts you have built.
Sounds useful. I'll try it next time I touch down on a planet.
The blueprints you need to construct an outpost should already be on your watch. It will automatically connect to any available materials for construction in your ship's cargo.
Got it. Do you miss Barrett?
My primary function has been to support and protect Barrett during his travels. I am currently unable to do so. That is as capable as I can be of missing anyone. I believe Barrett would find your question amusing.
All right. Well, protecting Barrett must have been quite the challenge.
Barrett has, thus far, survived every mission on which we have embarked. It is therefore evident that my efforts have been successful. I suspect that Barrett would disagree with how necessary my intervention has been in any given situation.
All right. How long have you been part of Constellation? I mean, we just read about it, but sure.
I arrived along with many material goods purchased by the group's previous chair, Malcolm Livingstone. Despite several significant system replacements and upgrades, I have been online for 43 years.
Okay, we'll ask you about joining the crew in a bit. Oh, Sarah. Well, no, because Sarah's going to start the next quest. So are there any other activities I could do now? Start an outpost, visit the Apollo landmark, can't do that one, and check on the Constellation mission board. Oh, we can actually land on Earth. I thought you wouldn't be able to land on Earth. Okay. Well, I guess next, we're going to go ahead and talk to Sarah. Get started on the main quest again.